Deion Sanders' family friend turns on him as Colorado stumbles. Post-Shedeur reality hits hard in Houston loss. Colorado's trip to Houston wasn't just another road game under the Friday night lights. It was a reality check. A sobering, primetime exposure of what life after Shedeur Sanders truly looks like, and how far the Buffaloes have to go if they want to be taken seriously as a Big 12 contender. The scoreboard at the end of the night read Houston 36, Colorado 20, but the numbers tell only part of the story. This was about more than one loss. It was about identity, leadership, and the difficult growing pains of a program that thought it had turned the corner under Deion coach Prime Sanders. Even more telling than the final score was the reaction from one of Deion's most trusted public supporters, NFL Hall of Famer and longtime friend Shannon Sharpe. Known for going to bat for Deion on ESPN sets and podcast mics, Sharpe didn't hold back this time. His 5 words cut through the noise. They thought they had it. It was more than a critique of one game, it was a statement about Colorado's post-Shedeur experiment. And it's a message that resonates in Boulder right now. Houston exposes Colorado's growing pains. The game itself was a roller coaster that derailed after halftime. Colorado came out swinging, flashing the playmaking ability that made them one of college football's most watched teams a year ago. Ryan Staub, the third-year quarterback, handed the keys to the offense, started with confidence, ripping completions into tight windows, moving the chains, and giving the Buffs a puncher's chance. But Houston didn't flinch. The Cougars played their game, and they played it well. They racked up 431 yards of total offense, including a bruising 209 yards on the ground, and controlled the line of scrimmage from the second quarter onward. Quarterback Connor Weigman delivered a masterclass in composure, tallying 305 total yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. By the time the fourth quarter rolled around, Colorado's defense was gassed. The offensive line was leaking pressure, and Staub was forcing throws he shouldn't have been making. 2 interceptions in the final 15 minutes sealed their fate and turned what was a 2-score game into an insurmountable deficit. Ryan Staub's night. Flashes of promise, painful mistakes. Staub's final stat line reads like a portrait of a quarterback still finding his footing. 19 of 35 passing, 204 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Numbers aside, the performance had moments that make coaches believe in the future. Quick feet in the pocket, willingness to stand in under pressure, and a few drives that showed he can run the offense. But when the game tightened, Houston's blitz packages rattled him, and Colorado's protection collapsed. This was Staub's second career start, and inexperience showed. The first drive of the fourth quarter, the one where he threw an interception on the very first snap, will be the play replayed in film sessions all week. It was the kind of mistake you expect from a young quarterback, but it's also the kind you can't afford in a conference road game. Shannon Sharpe's tough love. If the game was a gut punch, Sharpe's post-game reaction was the verbal knockout. On his show Nightcap, Sharpe laid into Colorado with a mix of frustration and realism. He noted the 2 interceptions, the failed red zone trips, and the wasted second-half possessions that allowed Houston to stretch a 2-point halftime lead into a 16-point win. But it wasn't just the X's and O's. Sharpe went straight to the heart of the issue: quarterback clarity. It all starts at the quarterback position. You know that. It all starts there, his co-host Ocho said, and Sharpe nodded in agreement. You got to find whoever your answer is, and you got to stick with him. Whoever he going to be, you got to stick with him through the ups and the downs. All that merry-go-round at the quarterback position. Then came Sharpe's 5-word verdict. They thought they had it. The implication was unmistakable. Colorado believed it had solved its quarterback question, but the performance in Houston proved otherwise. And in Sharpe's view, and perhaps in the eyes of many fans, Deion Sanders' staff is still searching for an identity that went out the door when Shedeur Sanders declared for the NFL draft. Life after Shedeur, a rocky transition. Replacing a star quarterback is never easy. Replacing one with the poise, production, and cultural weight of Shedeur Sanders is a different challenge entirely. Shedeur wasn't just Colorado's signal caller. He was the face of the program, the leader of the locker room, and the player who made the Buffaloes must-watch TV every Saturday. Shedeur Salter was supposed to bridge the gap, the transfer with experience who could keep the offense afloat until blue-chip freshman Julian Lewis was ready to take over. But Salter's absence has been glaring, leaving Staub and Lewis as the only options. Deion Sanders has been candid about his approach. He wants competition, he wants meritocracy, and he's willing to shuffle quarterbacks if it means finding the right one. But there's a fine line between competition and instability, and right now, Colorado looks more unstable than inspired. Urgency in Boulder. Colorado is now 1-2 overall and 0-1 in Big 12 play. Their worst start under Coach Prime. The schedule doesn't get easier. Wyoming is next, a gritty team known for physical trench play and ball control. Then comes a stretch of conference games that will determine whether the Buffaloes are contenders or simply spoilers this season. The checklist for improvement is long but clear. Trench play. The offensive line has to hold up better against pressure, and the defensive front must get off blocks faster. Situational third downs. Colorado has been too inefficient on third down, killing drives and leaving the defense exposed. Turnover avoidance. Staub's interceptions were backbreakers. Ball security must be priority number 1 going forward. These are fixable issues, but only if they're addressed immediately. The margin for error shrinks with each passing week. The playoff picture. Hope versus reality. Thanks to the expanded 12-team college football playoff, Colorado's season isn't dead. But make no mistake, the Buffaloes are already running out of rope. There are 2 paths to keep playoff hopes alive. Win the Big 12, the most direct route, but also the most demanding. It would require running the table or coming close, including beating multiple ranked opponents. Build an at-large resume. Win as many games as possible, look strong on film, and make the selection committee believe in your progress week to week. Either way, quarterback stability is the key. Without it, the offense will keep sputtering, the defense will keep getting gassed, and Colorado will find itself out of contention by Halloween. A program at a crossroads. Deion Sanders came to Boulder to transform the program, and he has, in culture, recruiting, and national relevance. But transformation is a process, not a moment. This loss, and the reaction it provoked, may be the wake-up call that the Buffaloes need. They have talent, they have speed, they have one of the most charismatic head coaches in the sport. What they don't yet have is a clear answer under center, and until that's solved, the rest of the team can't fully gel. Sharp's criticism matters because it comes from a place of respect. He's not a casual observer. He's family, and if he's calling for clarity, that message is likely being heard inside the Colorado facility. Final thoughts. Colorado's 36-20 loss to Houston will sting for a while, not just because of the score, but because it revealed hard truths. Life after Shedeur was always going to be challenging, but the clock is ticking faster than anyone in Boulder would like. The Buffaloes don't need to be perfect next week against Wyoming, but they do need to show growth. They need to show that Ryan Staub, Shedeur Salter, or Julian Lewis can stabilize the offense. Because if they don't, more voices like Shannon Sharp's will get louder. And the narrative will shift from Coach Prime is building something special to Coach Prime is searching for answers. Colorado still has time to write a different story, but the next chapter starts now, and it will define whether this season is remembered as a step forward, a missed opportunity, or the year the post-Shedeur growing pains became too much to overcome.